Hi everybody, and welcome to another day. And of course, it's day 170 on Pulsechain. We're going to be covering all the details. Yesterday I had a day off, of course. It's been a lot of late nights with a lot of these projects launching, so we've been up talking about strategies and everything else in the Discord. Discord's a wonderful place if you want to get ideas, get early intel, of course, into all the projects launching on Pulsechain. This channel, of course, is pretty much exclusively covering every project just about that's launching on Pulsechain as we document the journey together. So it's been pretty cool. That means there's a lot of projects, a lot of tokenomics, a lot of alpha, and of course our Discord is the place to be. So if you want to join up and get into that, get into our Discord, get into our chats, and get going. We've got a lot of smart people, a lot of friendly people in the Discord, so definitely get in there. Now, let's see who else is in the house at the moment. We've got Sandy Beach jumped in there first. Nice one, Sandy. Big shout out to you. We've got Recovery as well on the old Superman Crypto. Big shout out to you. Yeah, that's the thing. We're streaming to over 10,000 subscribers on 3 channels. Superman Crypto, Pulsechain YouTube, and of course, Hex Token channel. So big shout out to everybody in wherever you're watching. We got Check My Pulse. Good evening, y'all. Good to see you. Check My Pulse. Craig Pitt as well. Good morning, Superman and Pulse community. Hey, Craig, welcome to the chat. Hey, Crypto Compassion, it's been a little while. Hey, everybody, a big shout out to you. Good to see you back in the chat there. Joey Torres, what's up? Hey, good to see you, Joey. Welcome as well. Who else is in here? We've got a big shout out from Sandy Beach. Sandy Beach is amazing. She's a big health and fitness influencer now in the Pulsechain and Hex community in crypto and doing an absolutely amazing job. So very cool. Thanks for all you do there, Sandy. Now, Sandy, was that an image of you on the cover in the Matrix movie? Was that you? Was it you? Could have been. It could have been Sandy. In the red. What else we got? Wookie as well. Cowboy Wookie on the stream. Hey, good to see you, Wookie. Welcome to the chat. Pac-Man in the house there. Woo-hoo. Yeah, good to see you, Pac-Man. Creepy Coin. Hello. Good to see you, Creepy Coin. Welcome to the chat too. We've got Archie in the house. Hi, all. Good to see Archie. It's Scott Jackson. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Hex Token, says Sandy Beach. You're most welcome, of course. Could be, says Sandy. Yeah, Sandy there. Could be the front cover lady, the lady in red in the Matrix, which is kind of cool. Now, why did I choose the Matrix? The Matrix one is because we're going to be talking about a little bit of a Blues Clues from the Pulsechain developers. I'm not talking about the Pulsechain project teams on Pulsechain. I'm talking about Pulsechain developers, the team that actually got Pulsechain up and running. So wait for that. It's kind of a cool little, if you want to get hyped, it's a kind of little hype, really. And a little Blues Clues about the future of the chain development. So going to be really neat. And PulseX, no doubt. So very cool. Should we get into it? I think we should. Before we do, though, we've got Crypto Token. Hello, Hex Token. Good to see you, CT. And let's move on. Let's get into the crypto. We're going to cover crypto. Pulsechain, of course. We're going to be covering a lot of the projects that we've talked about on the title, 9-inch farms. What's next for the 9-inch farms? GDXen launched as well only hours ago. We're going to talk about Randy Hilarski's Note project. We now have a time frame for that. So we're going to talk about that as well. So lots of cool things happening. Very cool indeed. And we will probably briefly touch on Titan X, which launched on Ethereum. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's launching on Pulsechain. I don't know whether Jake Sharp has talked about that, but maybe that is the case. Maybe it is coming. We will see. But it certainly has caused a big fuss over on Ethereum, and we will have a look at that too. Just briefly, that is. We did cover it 2 days ago, was it, before it launched? I think we covered it with a bit of highlights there and looked at some of the insights there as well from some other influencers. All right, let us go here. Scott Jackson says, thought you were too busy minting Titan yesterday. That's funny, man. That's very funny. All right, let us move around. Let's go back here. Bam. And let's pull up the markets here. Where we're going here. There we go. Look at this. Beautiful. This is what we like to see. Remember how many days we saw red, and now we've been enjoying green. Now, obviously, the last couple of days on Pulsechain have been a bit of a pullback. Maybe some of the distraction with 9 inch has been a good thing, but also maybe had a bit of distraction on some of the richer heart tokens. Also, Titan X, as we talked about on Ethereum, that may have influenced things. That may have also influenced a Zen protocol on Ethereum as well. There's a lot of impacts with relativity, with new projects coming up, particularly ones that take in a lot of capital. Yes, lots of things happening in the old Pulsechain Ethereum ecosystem and the connections between the two, right? And the communities. Now we've got Bitcoin here at 34,771, up 1.36%, looking very good. As you guys know, we're looking for sort of a consolidation, and we've kind of had that last couple of days, and then potentially the next leg up, right? Maybe 37.5, 38.5. Maybe the people leading this charge on Bitcoin maybe even push us mightily into the 40,000 mark in a day or two. So wouldn't be surprised if we get aggressive move up there as well. So kind of cool. We may even have some of those entities like BlackRock accumulating Bitcoin, and of course, getting it cheap for their clients and things like that going on. So look at that. So we'll see what happens here, but certainly looking good. Now Ethereum there is at $806, 1.09%, and we're talking to Brendan in our Discord, TA specialist, and he's really looking for that altcoin movement. But of course, Ethereum, they've not quite brought it yet. Typically, when BTC moves up, then Ethereum would move, and then all the altcoins would move, and we get an altcoin rally as well. Not quite there yet. We have had obviously some good performances, but still waiting for Ethereum to really break out to the upside, get over 2K and things like that. Start to head to 3K, 4K, and up and away. So really looking for aggressive drive on Ethereum, and of course aggressive drive on the rest of the altcoins, including other layer 1 chains, and of course layer 2 chains as well, DEXs of course, and many other protocols out there. So at the moment, pretty green across the board. We've got XMR there is actually in double digits, and so is Aave. It's up 6% on XMR to $173. Aave there is up 6% at $85. So the dark green is pretty much the over 5% gains, and under 5% gains there is the light green. Not too bad. So let's move on into Bitcoin. And of course, it's Sunday in the United States, and of course, it's a Monday here in New Zealand, Australia, Pacific Islands, down under, as we say. And look at this Bitcoin. Woo-hoo-hoo! Hot doggity dog. I love this. This chart even better than the green. Like, we've got the tabs there, but this is really cool. Look at this. Man, oh man, oh man. The window of opportunity has played out like a golden goose. This is the best case scenario. We've had the best case scenario. It has been amazing. We've been tracking all the major variables, and look at this, pretty amazing. So let's quickly do it. We had the Ethereum ETFs at the beginning, and of course that was sort of a little bit of a move, but nothing great. Ethereum didn't, particularly do anything spectacular. And of course, then we've obviously had this big window of opportunity across the board. For the Fed meeting, of course, we're expecting a no change in the Fed meeting coming up on the 1st of November. So it's only a couple of days away. And of course, that has pretty much, 2 days away. So we're expecting a no change interest rate. So good news for crypto, good news for the markets generally. We will look at the outlook statement from that, of course. But of course, maybe November there as well. Let's move over to the end of the year. This November, the last meeting of the year, the 30th of December, expecting a no change on that, but maybe a 20% chance of a higher rate. And of course, we might have an idea from this meeting back here in November. So that's kind of the play there from the Federal Reserve and interest rates. Now, obviously, we don't really want it to go above 5.5%. There's a lot of issues in the property market, things like that. And of course, but maybe they're kind of in a pause at the moment. So we will see. And they've got kind of mixed inflation results, but we did have kind of a good inflation number last week. So that wasn't too bad. So that's kind of the play there. Now, in terms of leadership in the United States, we obviously had, and the leadership in the budget, we had Kevin McCarthy out, of course, after getting in a stopgap measure. And of course, the stopgap measure goes all the way to the 17th. So it's 45 days. Took some time to get a Speaker of the House, but finally we got a Speaker of the House on the 25th of October, Mike Johnson, of course, and I'm very happy about that. It's kind of like another Jim Jordan in many ways, but he's a constitutional scholar, which means that none of the Democrats or any of the Republicans that in name only, the rhinos as they're called, will be able to outdo him intellectually. because he knows the Constitution like a boss. And so that's kind of good news. He's going to have to deal, of course, with this budget stopgap measure. Obviously, I consider that a minor issue, but maybe the markets, particularly the stock market, will overreact to that. But that is coming up as well. So we've only got so many days to do that, and we're going to hear from him. So let's do that. Before we do that, how many days until the end of that? 19 days, and they need to get the budget in there or an extension. So we'll see how we get on their continuing resolution. So we'll see. All right, let's listen to the brand new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. And so far, I'm a big fan of what I'm hearing from him. So let's see what he's got to say on this.
Where are you in terms of funding the government? I know you're getting back to regular order. The Republicans have lost 3 weeks in their efforts in terms of funding government up against this November 17th deadline. Are you expecting to pass a short-term continuing resolution?
Well, let me tell you, our first priority, Maria, is to get the government funding. We have to finish the appropriations process. And I'll tell you, really, we have a great esprit de corps right now amongst House Republicans. Our team is ready. We're working like a well-oiled machine. We passed one of the appropriations bills just a day after I assumed the gavel. That was the energy and water bill. We have 3 more teed up for this next week. We're moving them as quickly as possible and trying to meet that deadline. If indeed we come to November 17th and we're unable to finish that because it's detailed work and it takes some time, we'll look at another stopgap measure. But I think everyone will be on board with that because they understand we're really doing this work. If we run out of time on the calendar, we may need just a little more to complete it. So the details of that have come together. But I tell you what, I'm very optimistic. I think we're getting our job done, and we're encouraging the Senate to do theirs as well. They've not passed an appropriations bill yet. Looks like they're doing some of that work now. We welcome that, and we're ready to get to the table and negotiate the final terms of all of it.
Will the numbers be lower than what you all agreed to earlier in the year in the springtime? In terms of
the top line numbers have been a subject of a lot of debate.
Yeah.
Right. The Fiscal Responsibility Act set a particular number. I think there's consensus here that that's what should be worked on. But of course, our objective is to reduce federal spending. As conservatives in the House, that is a top priority of ours because we're haunted by the federal debt. It's $33.6 trillion now, Maria. You address this all the time on your show. We have to keep that in mind always. We want to decrease the woke and weaponized federal government and its apparatuses and reduce federal spending and make sure there's accountability. So all that comes into the equation, all that comes into the debate, and whatever that top line number is, we're going to work very hard to come in beneath it. And you'll see that work happening here over the coming days.
So would you be comfortable then with a short-term funding bill that funds the government, say, until January or perhaps April? Is that something that you're considering?
Well, I've talked to my colleagues about this in the race in the speaker's race. I mentioned that I would favor, as for purposes of discussion, to build consensus around, if there indeed has to be a stopgap funding measure, that we would do that until January 15th. And the reason for that is it gets us beyond the end of the year push, and oftentimes the Senate tries to jam the House and force an omnibus spending bill. We're not doing that here anymore. We're having single subject bills in our separate appropriations bills. And so pushing that into January, I think would assist us in that endeavor. There may be some conditions put on that, perhaps that 1% spending cut across the board instead of becoming effective in April. Maybe we make that January 15th to incentivize the Senate to do their work. But I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on the details of it because people sort of get lost in all of that. But I'll tell you that we're working in earnest to get it done. I think all of our colleagues are at the table right now. Even the toughest fiscal conservatives like myself, people know that we've got to get this job done and they're ready to do it.
And sir, what about this?
All right, so I think that's bodes pretty well. I'm really happy they're going to get rid of the omnibus bills. They were ridiculous things, and getting to single topic bills are really good. So good news on that. And of course, if they have to do another stopgap, they will, and it looks like through to the middle of January. So that's kind of good news there. So I think that's going to bode well for us on crypto, and that's what we want to know, right? That's why we're looking at this bigger picture stuff to have an idea so we don't get any surprises and wondering what the heck's going on. So looking good there for the stopgap measure. The other thing, of course, is in crypto, we got BTC FTFs approved. We may have that as early as the end of this year. So I got the 15th of December for that. And of course, the Bitcoin halving later on in 24 on 17th of April. So we're ticking slowly towards that. So everything's lining up pretty well, I would say, at this stage. Very, very cool. And of course, it's maybe, what do we got, 171 days. So almost, we're under 6 months away. And of course, almost down to 5 months away from the Bitcoin halving as well. Super, super bullish. And of course, the significance of the Bitcoin ETF is massive capital. And this is the biggest thing, potentially massive capital flowing through from the TradeFi markets, billions to trillions. And we're excited about that. And of course, the BTC halving coming up as well. So very, very exciting times for crypto, I think, as well. So kind of cool. That's kind of where we are there. Bitcoin at the moment has got to 34,763 on Coinbase, currently at 34,538. And you can see it's kind of at the top of the range there. Is it going to continue to consolidate in here and then make another big, strong move up? That is kind of feels like more probable than not, as we have got early signs of a bull market with this latest breakout here. So that's the kind of play we've got at the moment, looking very good indeed. And this window of opportunity may keep on continuing all the way through. So I'm very excited about that at the moment. But we're going to keep it looking like this until we get more on the stopgap measure. All right, so that's kind of cool. We're going to get into Pulsechain. Before we do that, though, let's catch up in the chat. And we're going to look at day 170 results. Who else has jumped in there? We got Adam says, hi, Hex Token, Sandy, Archie, Cheeky, Wookie, Creepy, Joey, and Big Game Store. Nice one there, Adam. Big shout out. Crypto Neptune and House, good to see you as well. BDC, nice upswing. Yeah, it's looking bullish to the upside for sure. And we may very well get some pretty aggressive move up there. Why do I say that too? You know, we've got the bullish stuff coming out from BlackRock. We've got bullish stuff coming out from Galaxy. And this leads me to think that, you know, whoever's manipulating the markets up and down going to, or at least buying the market up and down, are going to do some big moves. So, yeah, I'm getting pretty optimistic there. And, of course, we're waiting for that Ethereum really to break up to the upside and get that aggressive altcoin run going. That's what we really want to see. Hexforce One says, hello, Superman and Hexkins. Got some BBC. Nice one, Hexforce One. Yeah, the BBC, we're going to look at that later on. Seems to have flattened out in terms of after the speculative hype. And we're going to talk about that too. Hexcavator, hey, gang. Good to see Hexcavator in the house there. Big shout out to you from Discord. Hello from the other side, says Charity. Welcome to see you as well. I guess you mean Aussie, Australia. What else there? We got Kevin Machine. Any hope of the ETH side of 9inch to grow? It's down like 30% last day. I think what that's going to do is go down. We'll talk about more when we get up there, but basically I think it's going to go down like it has, and then I think it's going to have its own rally separately. So as the volumes grow, as the rollout goes, I think it's going to have its own day in the sun. We'll talk about that a bit more later. We got Crypto Clays in the house there, a influencer as well, crushing it on her channel. Give Crypto Clays a follow if you haven't already, and keep up the great work there. Crypto Clays had some great interviews lately, and really, really good content. Charity Dunning as well. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Charity. Excuse me. And we've got Brian as well, our community leader. Good to see you, Brian. What's up, folks? Good to see you. And Brian there. Wow, look at that. 21. I can finally drink. Woohoo! 21 months, man, oh man. So Brian's one of the very longest members in the top 3, I think. And a big shout out for your support. And of course, he is our community leader as well. So he's, he's the boss man in our Discord. So good to see Brian in the house. What else we got going in it? We got Charity says, I found my way to Hex Token channel. Nice one, Charity. Appreciate that. All right, let's get back into it. Let's get to Pulsechain day 170, folks. That's where we're up to as we documenting the journey of Pulsechain. We got the Pulsechain price there, quadruple 0534, down 2.9% today, but that has stopped, seems to have stopped pretty much going down, and we've had some good bounces on there, so we're going to talk about that. 54% the sacrifice price. Pulsex is quadruple 0151, down 1%, and that is at 15% of the sacrifice. So still a lot of work to do on the Pulsex side. There's a number of things that may lift that in the future. We'll talk about that too. One pulse will get you 3.56 Pulsex. It's been pretty similar for the last couple of days. But the big talk of town, of course, is the buy and burn. Pulsex buy and burn. 524.4 billion Pulsex has been bought and burned. And I always like to remind everybody that's a superior tokenomics compared to, say, Ethereum and Uniswap combo or Pancake Swap, for example. So it really is a cool thing. And we're up to 2.54% of the public supply has now been bought up and burned and will never be seen again. And that will play down the track as we enter bull markets with their supply around. So kind of cool. Incentive token there is $1 and down 2.56%. The ratio to incentive has gone down quite dramatically, though. I have missed a day. Remember yesterday, day 169, but we're at 18,875 pulse per one incentive. We're going to talk about that too. We finally hit the 15 million incentives in existence, so that's coming from the Pulsechain farms, and the buy and burn there is at 112,000, which has been bought through the TRH protocol. And hey, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to V4 of the TRH protocol, and particularly looking forward to TYCZ, which is going to be very different actually, based on information we have, and maybe taking on Binance itself with a lot of its type of features. So we're going to be looking forward to that as an app or protocol. It's going to be fun to see. PHEX there at the moment is at 1.23 cents, down 2.8%. EHEX is at 0.0082, so 82 hundredths of a penny. The combined price of EHEX and PHEX still holding over 2 cents, which is nice to see. 2.05 cents, which is cool. One PHEX will get you 228 pulse at the moment, and one PHEX will get you 1.49 EHEX at the moment. That's kind of the numbers there. So let's get into the charts. Quickly look at those. We're going to hide the project updates, but that is the chart at the moment. So we had a super rally all the way through from, let's say, the 15th of October all the way through the 24th. Then we've had obviously some retrace here and some pretty important TA on that too. So let's bring that up. I'm going to auto log that. Bam. And let's bring up the fib on this. And bam. Let's go to the Fibonacci. And you can see we really came down quite a bit here from the top. We got all the way up to quadruple 0753. So we were, pretty close to getting back to the mean price there on Pulse. And here we are. We pierced through, and actually we hit the middle of the Bollinger Band there, the 50% mark at quadruple 5000. As you guys know, that's a pretty important level. This orange horizontal line here around 4,900, so 5,000 particularly. So nice little bounce there. And here we are at quadruple 05377 at the moment, and it seems to be flattening out in terms of our pullback down here. Now, what we could have reflected that is whales, of course, the Titan, the 9-inch DEX launch, and of course, potentially even the Titan X there may have played into a bit of this as well. So that's kind of where we are. We'd have a pretty strong run up there on that. Looking at the RSI on the daily, we've cooled off for another potential move higher, which is kind of cool. We're down at 53 on the RSI, so that's kind of good news. Remember, we were overbought on the RSI. If you haven't got a special event, RSI is very good to try and pick off the top of a move and the bottom of the move, right? There's overbought when it gets over 70, and of course, when it gets below 30, it's oversold. So it's kind of cool. Can help a lot of the times in terms of picking the tops and bottoms. But if you have a special event, you've got to take that into account as well. What will that mean for the price chart? So we saw that on the BBC token, was it 2 days ago? All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we may have very well got the bottom there. And I suspect with Bitcoin moving up to the upside, maybe we'll start curling up, and hopefully we'll curl up to maybe head back towards that mean price on the old chart there. That would be very cool. We've certainly got the room to move. And of course, that would be neat to see. So this orange line here, of course, this dashed line up here is the mean sacrifice price of 0001. So it'd be pretty cool to work ourselves back up to there. We got so close to it last time. We were only, how many? 32% away at the top of that last move. So fingers crossed with that. The other thing, of course, the SEC price is also the mean price. So we'll get up to that as well. Let's go to Pulsechain. Pulsechain at the moment, obviously, they were on the hourly chart there. Let me go to the daily. Also bounced off the middle of the Bollinger Bands here at 1400. Hopefully that looks like it will be the bottom two is the guess there. We got past the 61.8 Fibonacci, and that gives us confidence that that's going to be the case, especially with Bitcoin moving. So maybe it's done in terms of its retrace. Not financial advice, of course, but we're just trying to read the charts here and interpret those. And of course, the RSI has cooled off down at 54, slightly higher than Pulse, but not too bad there at the moment. All right, let's go to PHEX at the moment. PHEX here. Let's go to the daily. Quick look at PHEX. PHEX also bounced off the 61.8, so even better charting there for PHEX, not off the middle of the Bollinger Band. See how wide the Bollinger Band is? Man, oh man, that's pretty damn wide. Remember how we had this nice little narrow 1 EM. It broke to the downside in a rally we got, so pretty cool. So this is the PHEX, and of course that's cooled off on the RSI 257, so not too bad as well. So let's go, we say. All right, that 61.8 is typically where they will pull back, especially after an aggressive rise. And of course, we're talking about the RSI at the top here. Remember that? You can go back and watch the live streams talking about the RSI, saying it was in the overbought territory. And you can see that on the chart here. Look at that, overbought, and down it came. So there we are. But there is probably a couple of fundamental factors in that as well. Moving to EHEX, let's go to the daily on that too. Don't know why I've got the hourly on there. I was probably watching the profile. But here it's even more bullish on the EHEX. EHEX obviously had a spectacular run up, and we've actually bounced pretty much off the 50 Fibonacci, so even better than the other three charts that we just looked at for Pulsechain and PHEX. And look at that! Wow, some pretty good strong bouncing there, and we're at 0.008, so 0.8 of a penny, looking pretty good. So nice and strong. The RSI, of course, is at 64, so it hasn't come back as much. But nice strength there, and of course, people were talking about Alex the Whale and BankX and things like that in that mix. So that's kind of cool. What other thing we're going to say about that? I think that's it. We are obviously what's the price there? Still just below the SEC price, which was at 0.086. So we're at 0.008 at the moment. But we did get over that on our last move there. So kind of cool. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get away from that. Don't know why I've got two of those open. Let's leave it. So that is the charts. Let's go to the validators. They've probably been doing pretty well also. So let's check those out. Yeah, new records. Look at that. Woohoo! 48,713. And we've got one entering at the moment, heading towards 50,000. Seems inevitable, right? And of course, Pulsechain is the people's chain. We can see all the validators in Australia there, all over the place, Asia, Europe, even South Africa there. We've got one there. We need a few maybe in the north there. We might have to do something, was it Nigeria and places like that? That is there. We got 1.56 trillion off the market, which is well over 10%. Looking very, very good is the old stats there. Finally, moving to the gas prices. We're going to quickly look at the gas prices here. Let me just jump up to the top here. We got the gas prices here. We're in about 700,000 beats. Normally 400,000 or 500,000 beats is kind of on the low side now. This is kind of not too bad though. It's around 700. Obviously, if you're $1 million plus, 2 million, it starts to get quite more expensive. And of course, as Richard talked about, the more protocols come, we've got over 180 protocols expected to launch on Pulsechain. It's growing all the time. We are the best layer one chain out there with protocols growing. I'm sure it's just amazing how much stuff's coming to Pulsechain, and we're getting all the good stuff. So really cool. The latest tokenomics, new innovation technology, it really is cool. So yeah, it's we've got 1 cent for a Pulsex swap, 0.08 of a penny for Pulse coin transfer, and 2/10 of a penny for PRC20 transfer. We're currently 570 times cheaper than Ethereum and 185 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So a great place to do business on Pulsechain. You go over to Ethereum and you pay all those fees. Imagine if you're approving and then enabling and then staking and then end staking, and it just really does add up quite a bit. Swapping really is crazy over there. When you get to Pulsechain, it's like, oh my, I can go into that for 1 cent, 2 cents. It's just another place to be. It really is cool. Look at this fraction of a penny here. Look at this. It's such a wonderful place to be on Pulsechain. And of course, the other cool thing, not only being cheap and not annoying you on Uniswap, for example, is actually having compound protocols that actually work. You're not having to pay $10, $20 to get in and out and auto compound. It's just a fraction of a penny or a penny. It really is awesome on Pulsechain. And that may change over time, obviously, as the chain gets more bullish and that stuff like that. But that's really cool. I really like that. So that's day 170, folks. Looking very, very cool. We're going to get into a lot of the other cool stuff. So let me just get rid of these charts here. We've got lots to talk about. So just trying to think where I'm up to here. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So kind of cool. I'm just going to take this over there. We're going to get into that and talk about that. Before we do, though, let's get into the chat there. We've got a few new people in the house. I think we've got a super sticker in there as well. Let me get up to that. We've got Sandy Beach right up there with some of the long-term members. Member for 20 months. Awesome, Sandy Beach. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Woo! Get excited for sure. But do appreciate the support. Big shout out to you. 21-month membership on the Hex Token channel. Big shout out. What else we got going on there? We got, let's go through all that. Brian says, like it up, folks. Definitely like it up. And there, join the Discord if you want to join our Discord. It's an amazing place. Get in there, folks. I think we got, 1,300 people? Really is a great place. And of course, you could be in that crew. Crypto Clays, big shout out. Oh, a big super sticker there. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks for your consistency in the bear market yeah, we've been streaming every day in the bear market, whether it rains or shines, whether it's a green day or red day, we've definitely been streaming every day here on the channel. And of course, really excited about documenting Pulsechain's rollout. People will be able to come back and watch this channel as an archive. It will be really cool. With occasional day off, there. Always a good way to start the day. Absolutely, CryptoCast, and thank you for the support and keep up the great work as always. LS in the house there. Yo, Superman, can't wait for liquid loans. Me too. Like I say, we've got all these big protocols coming. It's going to be so amazing on Pulsechain. Really, really, really be cool. Harry Williams in the house there. Yo, yo, yo. Good to see Harry. The other side is where the cool kids are at, over on Superman Crypto. Yeah, another cool channel. If you haven't joined Superman Crypto, hit the join, subscribe there. I don't know if Brian, you can paste Superman Crypto channel in the Discord, in the chat there. People will be able to join up to there if they want. On that channel, I cover Pulsechain, but also cover DGM protocols and general crypto over there too. So if you want to join over there, you can get slightly different topics, or they need to do a bit more work over there. Brian's gifted out 5 memberships. I missed that, Brian. Probably because I was talking about the other thing, but Brian's given out 5 memberships. Doesn't look like they've been picked up there. Was that over on Superman Crypto, is it? Yes. So Wookie got one, Zen Vet got one, Carbro got one, Sandy Beach got one, and Fandom Beats. So congratulations, all 5 of you. And once again, a big shout out to Brian. And oh wow, and a 3-month membership member over there, Brian on Superman Crypto. Big shout out to you. So nice one there. As well. Brian is our community leader, if you guys don't know, on the Discord and YouTube. Crypto Truth in the house there. What's up, family? Good to see you, Crypto Truth. Who else has jumped in here? Yeah, that is Superman Crypto on YouTube. So definitely give us a subscribe. Hit a like over there as well if you like a bit more DGN stuff, a bit more general crypto stuff as well. As opposed to here, we're mostly Pulsechain and Hex and the projects that are built on top of that on the Hex Token channel and Pulsechain YouTube. Yo, thank you, Brian, says Sandy. Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. Let's get back into business. We're going to get into some of the blues clues here. Now, Bretep, if you guys don't know, is a Pulsechain dev, help make Pulsechain get launched. And there was a little blues clues in here I thought was really cool. And you guys know I like to follow these. One of them we had was a couple of weeks ago was Coast, talking about their dialogue with the Pulsechain devs and saying, yeah, they're working on stuff and they're excited about it. But here we had another one here. Person on Mackenzie here on X social platform was talking about just some of the issues that they were having with transactions and stuff like that. And Bretep responded, "Go be specific on the hiccups. What is broken? UX, which UX means user experience. UI means user interface. So UX is the user experience. There is rough around the edges because we launched the MVP. So it's a minimum viable product." In terms of something like Pulsechain or Block Explorer, they're probably talking about here, which is scan.pulsechain.com. And of course, now that we're launched, we are flying in the plane and building. And so this was like the blues clues here. So I just wanted to highlight today because I always like these little blues clues, these little drops of alpha from one of the Pulsechain devs. So we're flying the plane now and building. So they're obviously working on a lot of stuff. We obviously haven't seen too much stuff that's obvious, but I really do think that they've probably got a lot more in store for us around Pulsechain and PulseX. So really cool. Obviously, we're waiting for a number of features on PulseX, the DAO, potentially single-side staking pools, limit orders and stuff like that. Obviously, we've got limit orders now on 9inch exchange. But of course, that is related to the liquidity on 9inch as opposed to the liquidity on PulseX. So kind of cool there. PortalX, I think, is also going to bring limit orders, and there's a number of other. I think Batias is also this DEX aggregated. I think they're going to bring limit orders too. So there's lots of different options there. So limit orders is going to be a big rave. A lot of people use those, and so yeah, it's going to be good. All right, so that was kind of cool. I thought I would just highlight that as in terms of the Pulsechain and developers are building. That leads us kind of into the next line here, which is we had 9inch farms. But before we do that, I want to talk about GDXen. GDXen is one of the Zen protocols. So what's the roadmap so far? We've had on Zen on Pulsechain. We've had obviously we had the copy, which is pretty much a PZen classic, you might call it. That's on there, but really the main one is PZen, which has been launched on Pulsechain, and then of course we had Zen NFTs launch as well. So those are the first 2 or 3 that we had, and then of course now we've started to have the third-party protocols that have been successful on Pulsechain launched last week, which is DBZen Crypto, which is like an ROI protocol game, and that started eating up tons of the PZen supply, which was amazing, like 25 trillion or something. It's been absolutely amazing. And then, of course, we also had its, let's say, its sister product, the DBZen NFTs. That's been pretty popular too. So that wraps up the Zen NFTs. So those are kind of the 5 that we've had. But now we've got a couple more other protocols coming. A GDXen, which is more of a boutique one. But what is interesting about GDXen is that it's a Zen garbage dump. And basically we have successful protocols, but you also have ones that don't succeed, right? And so what this is doing is allowing you to burn those ones that don't succeed and put them into this new protocol, get new tokens, and hopefully that will do well. So it's kind of the idea here with GDXen. And so pretty cool. And of course, they launched on the mainnet officially 10 hours ago. So it's only been 10 hours since it launched, and look forward to the best there. Once again, a boutique, and we'll see how that gets on. They did have an influence on the price of Zen, of course. Zen garbage dump Pulse started out 1 hour ago, and PZen has surged by 30%. So definitely had an impact. I think that's kind of been pulled back since then, but that is kind of cool on that one. Now, if you go to the protocol, I think I've got that up in a while. Let me make sure I'm on the right channel here. This is a protocol. This is the front end for this ROI protocol, right? So kind of cool on the Zen garbage dump here. So you can burn tokens and get new tokens, right? So you get these new ones here. Pulse rewards, GDXen, and XEC. These are the rewards. They're kind of the output, as you put it. And of course, to put stuff in, you need to burn Zen or burn other coins, right? So that's kind of cool. So that is kind of the depth there from GDXen in project. And I've put this in the Pulsechain chat, so it's in chat number 2 in the Discord, but definitely pretty cool. So if you want to find out more about that, it is more of a speculative project, just remember that. So I want to be clear about that, but definitely, it's cool to see more projects launching on Pulsechain. It's super bullish for Pulsechain, EIP 1559 burning on Pulsechain. All projects add to that and makes it more bullish on Pulsechain. It's kind of cool. So best of luck to GDXen on Pulsechain. Now we will have more protocols coming as well. That are the successful ones. There's some of them fail, right? This is crypto. Some projects fail. Some projects have modest success. Some have big success. So we're going to have a couple more of the modest success projects coming to Pulsechain. Probably Zen Game, and there's another one out there too that potentially we've got coming. And there's a few others that are also under development. So it's going to be pretty cool on Pulsechain having the whole Zen ecosystem layer itself on Pulsechain. So bullish on that one. We have multiple ecosystems coming to Pulsechain. Of course, we talk about them in a minute. So that's kind of cool for that. So that's GDXen, and congratulations to their launch. Look forward to their results in the next couple of days. All right, let's move on from there. And that is the protocol. We're going to jump away from there too. That is the details. So if you want to find the details, is the documents there. You can find out all about the game on Zen Garbage Dump, Fair Start, tokenomics, all that sort of stuff. They have some cool stuff here. GDXen they got a little diagram how that works. Protocol fees and burn Zen, and GDXen, XEC, and protocol fee. Now, I don't think they're going to be out on the market tradable until 24 hours, I think. That's the way it works. So I don't think you'll find any of your tokens at this stage. So definitely follow the official Twitter handle, which I gave you. And you can also look at these diagrams to see how the game works as well, or ROI protocol. So kind of cool. All right, that is that. Let's get into, obviously, the other big one, 9-inch farms, and what comes next. What is coming next for 9-inch, and we're going to talk about some of that. So let's quickly go to Pulsechain, and we're going to scroll down here. So Pulsechain is down here, and we can see that at the top there, we have the DEXs in here. So we've got Pulsex, 9-inch here. For some reason, it has Uniswap, Pulse Rate, Easy Swap, Velocimeter, and Sushi Swap. Some of those will you'll be familiar. But 9-inch is sitting at number 2, so it's ranked by volume. And of course, you can see Pulsex at the moment is got about 19.6 million in 24-hour volume, 175,000 transactions, whereas 9-inch here, let's have a look at this on Pulsechain. Remember, 9-inch also listed on Ethereum. That's got 7.8 million in volume. So 7.8 million, and Pulsex had 19.5, 9.6. So you sort of see it's doing pretty well, isn't it? I would say about 40% of the volume, something like that. And transactions 38,000. So pretty cool launch there for 9-inch on Pulsechain. Now, obviously, if you go over to Ethereum, you can go to Ethereum here, and you'll also be able to see what the DEXs are on Ethereum. And you can see that Uniswap is number 1, and then you go down 5 down later, and you got 9-inch sitting there between Balancer and Kyberswap. So, even though the prices have gone down on 9-inch, the pools have been fattening up there with the old BBC incentive token farms opening. And of course, you can see that's turned over there. So 1.3 million on Ethereum, this could change a lot in the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. So that's why I'm saying it may have its own day in the sun as it attracts capital. So it's going to be pretty cool to see that play out. So we'll be watching out for that. In any case, they had some pretty cool stuff on Pulsechain. 9inch has achieved roughly 10% of Pulsechain liquidity in a few days, and you can see the data there from the analysis page, I think it is, liquidity. And of course, you also the last 24 hours volume has almost 50% of Pulsechain, and of course that's 8 hours ago that's been posted. So it's kind of cool. You can find that stuff. So really a super success early on as 9inch had, and of course has had just about every influencer that a lot of the main ones that are consistently streaming have covered 9inch DEX. So it hasn't had a shortage of coverage. The 9inch DEX front end has experienced heavy lows as 4 hours ago. Loads the past hours and days, handling it exceptionally well. So they've handled a lot of turnover. Heavy loads is something you should expect from 9inch apparently. So you can take from that what you will. But that is from 9inch there. So pretty cool. So that is pretty much it from 9inch there. We're going to jump over to Hexy Bastard because he's been having a few comments as well. Obviously, the front man for 9inch. And so, yeah, pretty cool stuff here. 9inch has been one of my best sacrifices so far. Remember, it was a $60 million sacrifice. What a successful launch, coupled with the fact that it is on 2 chains. Great job. 9inch and BBC are the top two trending tokens on Pulsechain. Still over 8,000% APY available on stablecoins here. So there's obviously the farms on Pulsechain. They're doing about 8,500%, and of course on Ethereum they're doing slightly higher than that. I think they're up at 12,000%. So kind of cool there. On some of that, so it's had some good updates around that. And of course 3 hours ago, Hex Bastard said, "Got to go catch a full night's sleep." First one he's had in 10 days. So there we are. That's from Hexy Bastard. So kind of cool. So we'll keep a track on that. Looking at the protocol itself, we got it here on Pulsechain, and of course, cool thing you can just swap between the 2 blockchains there. And we can see what the farm percentage is at the moment in real time. We got the PLS 9inch, I understand, has been hidden intentionally on the yield there, which is pretty interesting. It's PLS 9inch. But the 9inch DAI pair, so with the stable coins, 8,600%, 8,600%, and 8,800% here. Now, the cool thing about the calculator, of course, is that you can click on that and you can go to details, and you can see the details behind it. So it's kind of neat there. With that, and of course it has the farm multiplier 0.9x. And the thing about this is that we found that the farms must be getting a lot of BBC per block, because the liquidity has absolutely grown by leaps and bounds. We're going to look at that in a minute. So that is the yields on Pulsechain. Let's go look over to Ethereum. We're going to switch over the blockchain now and go to Ethereum. Here is Ethereum here. So you can see actually they're pretty similar today. 8,700% on the old 9inch and 8,600 on 9inch USDC. USD Tether 7,400 looks like the best one so far. You can see the difference in the liquidity here: 600,000, 600, 744, and that's the number there at the moment. We'll go back to Pulsechain and have a quick look at the liquidity on Pulsechain, because it's quite a bit bigger. And look at that: 3.4 million in DAI, 3.3 million in 9inch, USDC, and 3.3 million in LP there. So pretty cool, doing pretty well, I think. So that's kind of neat there. You can go to the analytics, of course, and have a look at the analytics with all the chart data. That's what they were posting there. Now, I'm sure this will update the tokens maybe in 7 days or something like that. We'll see. I think they need a 7-day average or something like that. So we'll keep an lookout on the data there. And the buy and burn, of course, has been pretty spectacular over here as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to show up on this one, but I'll give it another refresh. The buy and burn there, yeah. I think, is it showing up on Ethereum? I think it shows up on Ethereum, the buy and burn on that one. Oh, here it is here, sorry. 143 million 9inch has been burned on the Pulsechain side, which is pretty awesome. Remember, there's 1 trillion tokens, so really they're just going to be going down, 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 down. Now, the fee on 9inch is 0.29%, so some of the Pulsex slightly cheaper than a Uniswap, of course, 0.3%. And 0.01% of that 0.29% fee goes to burn BBC tokens. Looks like we've got 232 tokens burned so far. I think that's not fully reported, but we got the 9inch burn at 143 million there, so that's kind of cool. I noticed that some of these things, if you try and burn USDC 9inch, you can't burn that, so I'm not sure what exactly the mechanism of that is at the moment. That would be $168 reward, but it comes up with this error here, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty much it. So obviously you can do limit orders as well. I know that KDP's done a little video, I think, on limit orders, so you can go check that out on the new YouTube channel. A big shout out to KDP for what she does for the community. And yeah, you can set limit orders and set a price, whether you want to buy or sell at a certain price. It will do that while you're sleeping, pretty much. And of course, you need to pay a little bit of price there in 9-inch tokens to do it, as I understand, 8,600. So kind of cool. All right, I got a little bit of 9-inch in this account. How did I get that? I have no idea. I have no idea where that came from. Oh, actually, I think it's because I burned something yesterday. That's why I got a little bit of 9-inch there. How funny is that? That's pretty cool. So looking pretty good. Now, if you want to get in the farms at the moment, of course, you've got to go and provide liquidity. So the first thing you need to do is provide liquidity, and you need to provide liquidity for the farm. So if you're doing a PLS 9-inch, you need to go in there and you can get some PLS LP. When you provide liquidity in these liquidity pools, you can click add, and then you can add the 2 pairs. And once you do that, of course, in this case, you want to add 9-inch. So you'd have to add these 2 and 50-50 equal amounts. Once you do that, you get what they call an LP token. It basically is like an ownership. It represents that those tokens that you put into the liquidity pool that people are going to buy and sell. Once you get those LP, they'll be in your wallet. And when you go to the farm, you'll then be able to go to the farm that you put the LP in, and you'll be able to enable the farm, and then you'll be able to stake your LP and start earning BBC tokens. So it's that easy, really. Hopefully that's cool for people that are new. Now we've got pools coming up, right? So that's going to be super exciting. We're going to get into the roadmap about that. Now that we've kind of done an overview of that, we're going to look at the token prices as well. Very, very cool. So let's go to this is in the books here. So if you want to get to this page, which is their books with all the details, just go to pools, go up to the 3 dots, which is called an ellipsis there, and go to docs. If you click on docs, you'll come up to this library of information around 9-inch. And of course, you can scroll down to first farms and pools, and you can see that we've already had the day 3 pools here. So single-sided 9-inch staking pool will be created on both chains. So this is what we're coming up to. So day 1, we had that. So that's already done. We're currently in day 2, if I'm right. And we're currently in that day. And of course, in the future here, I'm guessing, this is my guessing, we haven't seen the official announcement, but I'm saying maybe about 12 hours from now, we might move into day 3 here, which is actually day 4, right? So we might move into that. And of course, that means that potentially we've got single-sided 9-inch staking pools coming up, potentially in half a day, obviously subject to the official announcements from the team, but that pretty much puts us on track for day 3, as I understand it. So single-sided 9-inch staking pools will be created on both chains, 9-inch and BBC single-sided staking created. So this is going to give more, take more BBC off the market if you want to look at it like that, and to some degree, because people will be able to single-sided stake it. So it may be bullish for BBC. We'll see how the market reacts there, because obviously people are already in these farms here, the main farm and the stablecoin farms. There's 5 of those, and of course E9-inch and P9-inch farm as well. There's 5 of those. So 3 plus 1 plus 1 here. That's 5 on Pulsechain. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, so we've got 9-inch and BBC single-sided staking coming out. So that's going to be bullish for 9-inch too, because that's going to get more 9-inch off as well. So not only do we have the farms, but we'll also have single-sided staking pools here, and that's super bullish, right? So we've already seen a rally in the 9-inch price as it's valuing up the DEX, but really, really cool to see that. So that's kind of what we're expecting. On top of that, you'll get BBC farms as well. So not only will you have these farms here, with the stable coins and 9-inch, but you also get a BBC, probably a 9-inch BBC or PLS BBC. Can't remember what was on testnet, but that's something like that. So that's kind of bullish. And of course, single-sided staking for those is going to be epic. And I think that's going to be bullish for the market. So let's quickly go to the 9-inch chart here. This is the 9-inch on Pulsechain. Look at this thing doing very, very well. The market cap now, remember the $16 million sacrifice, but it has had a launch on Ethereum and Pulsechain. The market cap is now $50 million. So you got to be pretty happy about that. That's a pretty good result so far. And there we are, quadruple 0.5 at the moment. So it's managed to get up to the 5 mark. It had been sitting in the 3s and then the 4s. Now it's at the 5 and it keeps going up there. It is tapering off at the moment. And if we look at, yeah, that's probably not going to give us much information at the moment. This is the 4-hourly candles. These are 4-hourly candles. So pretty good on that. Now, BBC, of course, had the speculative rises on the 4-hour. Let's go to the 4-hourly on this. We had the speculative rise in this, where people are speculating this up. There was a bit of controversy about the bots getting access, of course, which is always difficult. And the bots getting access, and of course, got pumped all the way up to $20.50. Came back down to about $9, and then went back up to $18. Got pushed all the way back on the launch of the farms, of course. and got sold right down. Pretty brutal, actually, if you were still up here. But anyway, came back down, and it's currently kind of moving sideways here with a slight downtrend. But we're currently at $1.18 per BBC. So that is the play at the moment. Now, the question is, will the single staking help? Well, we'll find out. It's about half a day away as we understand it. We'll find out, I guess. Speculative still, but maybe it will give take some of this off the market. Now, let's go look at the BBC and see what the supply is when we start off 100,000. So when we had this big price bump on the BBC back here, we only had 100,000 PVC in existence. But now, since the farms have been operating, so these farms here, since these farms have been minting out BBC and these farms, we now have a massive 1.2 million BBC, and that's going to continue to grow, right, with 1,100 addresses holding. So that is the number there at the moment on the BBC. Now, we move away from that to the information that we have. Well, we're going to have single-side staking coming up and farms for BBC, so we'll probably be able to get rid of quite a bit of that BBC as that's existing now, and that's going to be coming out every day. So pretty cool on that one. All right, so that gives you an idea there. Yeah, pretty big change things in there. And don't forget, there's always that little fee burning, 0.01% is going to the burning, so that's going to slowly tinker away. So that's pretty much it. Then, of course, 24 hours later after that, we've got day 4, so we're not expecting anything to happen there. And then by day 5, which would be Tuesday, I believe, in the United States, and Wednesday down under in Australia, New Zealand, Pacific Islands, day 5, we're going to have farms, single-side staking for Where the ETH Go, Paul Pleb, and Pulse Dodge. So the 3 meme coins from the 9-inch team. They're going to be on both chains. We're going to have single-side staking for Pulsex as well. So that's potentially bullish for Pulsex. Might do something. We'll see. Single-side staking for EHEX as well. So it could be cool on Ethereum. So we saw that Ethereum, it only come back down to 50% on the RSI. So the retrace was pretty small. That's pretty cool. And of course, they're onboarding a new community to Ethereum, which is pretty cool. So every community they onboard to Ethereum, also they've got a couple of mechanisms to get them onto Pulsechain too. So it's kind of cool like that. It's a pretty neat little idea. Now they're also going to have EHEX and PX farm on Pulsechain as well. So like I say, we're expecting this kind of on Tuesday, I think, and Wednesday down under on that one. Then of course, day 6, LPs get bigger. And then of course, day 7, I think they're going to have a lot. So after they've done all the meme coins ones here, Where the ETH Go, Paul Pleb, Pulse Dodge, they're going to potentially open it up to a lot of other projects, right? Which, applying on the couch as they were, the couch thing on the main website. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of where we're heading there. Obviously, Where the ETH Go, let's have a quick look at that. So Where the ETH at the moment is at $1.05. So it's having a bit of rally. We've covered this for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Talking about potentiality here. Well, obviously, we didn't know when it was going to launch. There was audit changes and things like that. But it's been pretty successful, I would add. There's been a couple little minor hiccups possibly around Sacrifice set, but they fixed that up. And of course, possibly around the BBC launch with the bots getting so much at the beginning. You have to sort of pay out the bots, don't you, to get out of there. But that is that's the 9-inch there. This is Where the ETH goes. So this is the one. This one here is probably going to be the best one in my view. Why do I say that? Because I've changed my mind a little bit. Obviously, I was talking about Pulse Dodge. I think Pulse Dodge is still going to be pretty good. But at the moment, this one here, the market cap is 1 million. The amount of tokens at the moment is in existence is only 100,000. Sorry, 1 million, I should say. So 1 million is the total limit here. Remember, this is the last meme coin they launched during the delay of launching the protocol. So at the moment, we've got 1 million there, and we've got 4,700 addresses. So this one here could really fly potentially. And of course, it's going to get the benefit of the farm, remember? So it's going to get farm and single-side staking from all these 3 tokens. So that's double bullish, not just the farm where you're providing liquidity and getting farming, but also single-side staking. I think that's really bullish, particularly the single-side staking, right? Because it gets the tokens off all together. So kind of cool. So that's looking pretty good there, and we're starting to see the market move here, which is this is what we thought was probably going to happen. Sometimes when we sort of get the fundamentals, it looks like it's probably going to happen, and sometimes it doesn't, right? Occasionally it doesn't happen. So you're going, what the heck? So sometimes it's always playing out, but I think it's most probable. We've sort of bounced off 74 cents here. We're currently at $1.05. So if we actually go through the 4-hourly chart, have a look at that. It's kind of the trader's view. We can see we've got a nice little rise there happening, and the RSI is really bottomed out there. So we've got a nice room to move here as well on the RSI, and of course on the hourly too. We're getting up to almost overbought, but that's looking pretty good there at 105. And now, what the big thing about this, with only 1 million tokens, this is the only one that's got the kind of the smaller supply. because the BBC had 100,000 tokens, but that's now got, well over a million. It's going to have millions soon. Whereas this one here is only going to have 1 million, and the market cap's $1 million. So who knows what this will do over the next couple of days as we lead into into the single side staking and the farms coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday, US and down under there. So kind of cool. That's kind of the analysis there. So where would this might go? Could it do a 5x? Could it do a 10x? Could this go to $5 million? I don't know. We're going to find out. But it definitely looks like up and to the right. That seems pretty decent. Yeah, definitely. If it's only 1 million cap, there's only 1 million tokens. Maybe this thing will go to $5. Maybe we'll do something, $10. Who knows? We'll find out though, we'll see where we go there. All right. I don't want to hype it up too much, but definitely up and to the right there. Definitely seems possible. The other one, of course, is Paul Pleb. Super popular meme, of course, from Hexy Bastard. And we've finally seen that start to rise on the 15-minute chart here. So we're sort of stuck in this range here, about 6,700. We got down as low as 6,000, and we're starting to rise now on Paul Pleb as well. So it's kind of cool. Now, Paul Pleb has much more liquidity, 46K. And, of course, the tokens here, let's give a quick look at those. Just to give you an idea. Paul Pleb has a lot of engagement, I would say, quite a high engagement. They got 1.7 trillion tokens, however, 7,136 addresses, and of course they'll have a certain amount of whales in there too. You got to obviously take that into account on each of these tokens as well, so pretty important. But a lot of these guys may very well put their tokens, you guessed it, they probably put their tokens in the centralized staking and maybe the farms and then BBC. We'll see how that goes on that one. All right, that is where the ETH go, and at the moment, Paul Pleb, and it looks like it's breaking up slowly and surely to the upside. That is the hourly chart, and let's look at the RSI on that. So plenty of room to move on the RSI. 4-hour chart there, trader's view. Let's go to auto log on that. It's ticking up on the 4-hourly there, not too bad. And the RSI's got plenty of room to move, as we say. And the daily, let's get to the daily. We got it all the way up here to quadruple 013. Let's go back up here into the past. Even before the DEX had launched, it got hyped up on the launch. Got up to way up here to where to get up to the high, all-time high is quadruple 0173. We're currently at we've got another zero, haven't we? We've got 506997. So definitely could lose a zero, and who knows where this will go. It'll be interesting to see how much impact that farm and the single starter staking has on this on Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where you are, if you're in the United States or down under. Kind of cool. So that's Paul Pleb. Now, the other one, of course, I've been talking about has been kind of my favorite, but it's actually not really firing at the moment, is Pulse Dodge, PLD. Now, the one issue is that there's not many holders of Pulse Dodge, but there are quite a few large holders. So I don't know whether that's going to play a role, but we will see. Let's go to the amount of tokens and have a quick look at that. We've got 574,000 PLD tokens, 734 addresses. Now, remember, all these tokens are also on Ethereum side as well. There's far less holders on Ethereum. I think there's 280. But, if you look at the whales, there's quite a large lot of holders that hold millions of PLD. So there is that, but they don't seem to be moving too much this stage. And maybe they will go into the farms and single-side staking. Maybe some of them are going to sell. There's always some, right? So we'll have a look at that. But, of course, they know the news is coming down the line as well, right? They know that this roadmap is playing out, coming up this week. So kind of cool. So this is expected maybe in 12 hours. This is maybe, another 2 days later. So, yeah, that is kind of the play there on that one. So that's PLD at the moment. It's currently at 4/10 of a penny and not really doing too much at this stage, but we'll be looking out for that too on that one. Let's give it a rocket for that. Liquidity in this one, 434K, so it's got the smallest liquidity. Certainly maybe an issue as well, but we'll see how we get on. Market cap 2.3 million as opposed to Paul Pleb with 11.7 million. And, of course, where'd the ETH go with 1 million there. So definitely it kind of looks like where the ETH go might do particularly well. And we'll see how we get on with Paul Pleb and Pulse Dodge there. Or Paul Pleb and Pulse Dodge. So that's kind of the charts there. I hope you guys enjoyed that coverage. Give you a kind of a background into what's going on there and what's coming up in the future. Very cool. But it's made made a big deal there. One of the two big things, 9-inch launching and Titanic X on the Ethereum chain. It's been kind of cool. All right, let's get back into the chat there. We're going to get into the topic. What are you up to? I've covered GDXen. I've covered 9-inch farms. We're going to talk about Randy Hilarski Note project. So let's get into that. Before we do, let's get up on the chat. Maybe people got some comments about that. Where do I go up to here? Let's see. We got Andrew Reynolds in the house there. Morning, Andrew. Good to see you. Where else? Just make sure I'm up to date there. Haven't gone back far enough. We got up to CT, I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I missed any comments. You guys know I like to say hello in the comments. We got the Hexcavator, big shout out, new member, big shout out to you. Is that a re-member? But always appreciate the support there, Hexcavator, big shout out. Hexcavator does a lot of pretty important infrastructure work in the United States, so it's great to see him in the chat there. Let's see who else we got here. Groot is a superhero indeed. I do like Groot, especially when he's going to potentially hit the nuke button or whatever in the movie. Jumping through some of these comments. Kev Machine says, hoping single-sided staking pools open up soon for 9-inch. Yeah, so we covered that in full and the roadmap. Now, if you want the roadmap, here it is here. I'm going to post that link in the Discord, in the chat here. This is 9-inch future rollout. So bang, that is in the chat there. That link to this page. Sorry, this page. That page. Yeah, that page there. All right, cool. Who else has jumped in here? Jump through all those. Pumpkin House says, been killing it on 9-inch, got in the first hour, shocking APY. I think BBC will rise again. With the single-sided staking, maybe the farms? Possibly, yeah, that's what we're looking at there. Speculative though, but it could happen, yeah. Could get at least a mini bump into that. What that will be, I do not know. Will it go to $5, $6? I don't know. We'll see. But of course, people are still minting out BBC. But at least they've got single-sided staking, they'll be able to put it on. Just got the hiccups there, which is kind of hilarious. Thomas says, I heard the PLS 9-inch APR will show on average after 7 days. Not sure why it's different to the others. Yeah, I have to think about that. But yeah, good insight there from Thomas. Let me just mute my other screen over here. Mute that. Check out the BBC chart. It did indeed. Looks like it's getting squashed into a triangle. We dig rewards, says Hexcavator Mikey. Oh, nice. Pumpkin House says, go PLD, Paul Pleb and Weird ETH go been accumulating. PP and Pulse Dodge. Thanks, Superman. Good luck. Good luck on that. I think it's we're playing probability, so we'll see how we get on. So far, definitely Weird ETH goes starting to move. Paul Pleb starting to move. PLD needs to catch up. That's probably where we're at this stage. Time to get where the ETH goes, says Pumpkin L. Thank you for covering all the relevant cryptos daily, Superman. You're welcome, Richie Robinson. You're welcome. 9-inch future rollout. Cool. There is the book there. Nice one there. That is the link. I just realized that looking good. Predictor says, when Pulsechain single-sided staking, Pulsechain open. Nice. Yeah. So it's coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday. So Tuesday in the United States, Wednesday in Down Under. If that sort of makes sense. Thanks, Superman says, Pudding Guru. You're welcome. LA says, I wish I had dry powder for Titanic X. Yeah, we will get to that. We'll get to Titanic. Let's go. All right, let's move on. We're going to move on from the farms, and I'll close those down. I might keep those charts open. I'll probably look at them later. I want to talk about Randy Hilarski, the man, the myth, and the legend. We've got, he gave us a timeline. So as you guys know, we've got our timeline here on the chart here. So we're going to, this is the Pulsechain chart. Let's get rid of all that. We're going to get rid of the Fibonacci there. And let's pull this down as well. So this is the timeline so far. And we've got, here is, look, we've added Randy Hilarski's project on the back end here. And let me auto log that. Is that. Oh, no, I wish I hadn't auto logged it now. Let's scroll that up a bit more. I just want to spin that. That is the note project. So that's Randy Hilarski's project. You guys know it's going to be launching on the 9-inch DEX on Pulsechain. So that's pretty cool as well. So that is from Randy Hilarski. And what's the cool thing? We got this time frame. So time frame is mid-December. That is the expectation there. And so kind of cool. Sometimes you just pick the right teams. I choose to align with Pulse, Dodge, Win, Paul Pleb, and 9-inch. The team has delivered once again 9-inch XE busted ecosystem, as they call it. When Note Token, that's Randy's project there with his big whale friend, token launches, we will launch exclusively on 9-inch. So that's kind of cool. And this is the one here, coming mid-December. So this has now been added to our roadmap here. Looking good, looking good. So that is it from Randy. That was pretty much it on that one. We'll post the link to that tweet in the chat there if you want to say hello and ask any information. That is pretty much it. So nope, launch date, I should say. I don't want to be too bullish over that. That is pretty much there. So that is Nope launch. So you can check that out on Randy Hilarski. Give him a follow. He's obviously one of the biggest influencers on X social platform and one of the bigger ones on Pulsechain YouTube as well. And he's been around for a long time doing crypto. So there it is, and that's from him. I think that was it all I was going to talk about there. I'm not sure if he's got other stuff that I was going to talk about. He's been retweeting a lot of 9-inch stuff, of course, given he was the #1 sacrifice, etc., etc. So kind of cool. All right, so that is Randy Hilarski, looking good. And of course, if you want to join the Nope, the Nope on X social platform, you can do that. So Nope token on Pulsechain, brought to you by Nope Permissions, which is obviously Randy Hilarski. So that is kind of cool there as well. You can find this link in the tweet that I just posted from Randy Hilarski. So you can go and join the X social platform there on that. So that is pretty much that on the projects. So as we can see that we've really covered, GDXen, which is launched, GDXen on the markets. Don't know why I've got late October because that's launched already. So kind of cool. We've covered 9-inch, which is still rolling out. It's got a launch phase rollout, so that's kind of cool. And what else we got there? I don't know. It's supposed to be that long, is it? Oh, maybe it is a second here. And we've covered 9mm. There's no news and update on 9mm. So we're going to keep pushing 9mm out, though. Apparently, it's supposed to be imminent, but it keeps taking time. But that is another big ecosystem dropping on Pulsechain with multiple protocols, the V3 DEX, a big NFT marketplace, number 7 marketplace, and of course, V3 DEX and Explorer, the big block Explorer. So hopefully we'll have that too, as well as I think staking for their NFT collection. Sugarbeet, we're waiting for that too. So that's a placeholder at the moment. Sugarbeet is Beetroot, of course, with their single-side staking protocol from the looks of it. So that's going to be bullish for Richard Heart tokens. So that's going to be cool as well. So not only we have got 9-inch, but Sugarbeet looks like they'll be coming up to give you benefits for your Richard Heart tokens too. Don't you love these third-party protocols and Richard Heart tokens? Because you get the benefit from all the third-party protocols that support it, which is kind of neat. So yeah, we're waiting for these ones here. Titanic X, let's quickly go have a look at that on the charts. Have we got the one up there? Let's go look at Titanic X and see how that's going. This is on Ethereum, so it's a little bit of little bit different from what we normally talk about. But we're going to go find. Actually, let's go to my watch list, and I've got that under my Ethereum watch list. Let's talk about that. We're up to 1 hour and 8 minutes, so I think we're doing okay. We've got liquidity here. Looks like that. Woohoo! This thing has been spectacular. And look at this thing. Wow. So yeah, it's been on the leaderboard there. It was pretty much at the top of Ethereum for a little while there too. 3 million market cap at the moment, 775K liquidity. And this one, it's got obviously, so I think it's 2 main pools. And yeah, up 196% on 24-hour. But look at this on the hourly, looking very good indeed. So kind of cool on this one. Got all the way up to here, quadruple 0734. And not bad as well. So let's have a quick. I think I've got the actual protocol. Titan. I think I've got the protocol here somewhere. Yeah, app here. So this is the protocol. This is on Ethereum, so it's not really, but it may come to Pulsechain. I'm not sure what they are doing in that space. I haven't heard anything on that because there we go. But anyway, this is the protocol. Now, this is supposed to be hyperinflationary and then hyper deflationary. That's kind of the kicker here. And they have a big buy and burn pool, where pretty much that of the ETH that goes into the pool, 62% goes to the buy and burn. So you can see how they're going to try and do that. And so it's going to be interesting to see what this looks like as well as the supply. So let's quickly look at the supply of Titan X. I know many of you have heard about this, so that's why we're covering it briefly. So it looks like we're up to 66 billion Titan X tokens. There's 2,200 holders. I'm sure there's probably some big whales in here. Yep, some big accounts holding, percentages of them. Now the app here is got mining. Now it's not a cheap game to get into, based on Pulsechain experience. But I think minimum miner is 0.2 ETH, which is $358. So So if you're in a retail place there, or if you're a grinder, this may not be so easy to get into. But it's there's a lot of big capital flowing into this. May have impacted Zen on Ethereum, may have impacted Pulsechain, maybe potentially. There's a lot of crossover in the community. Jake Sharp is a crossover influencer in these sort of places, and a lot of other influencers have covered it too. Stake there. You got the stake there as well. You can stake. You got the payouts in here. There's lots to learn about this, obviously, with all these charts and stuff. But the buy and burn is the secret sauce in many ways. There's quite a few components. We did cover it about 3 or 4 days ago, if you remember, some of the highlights about analysis that was done by other influencers. I think with Maxim was it that we covered. But you can see here, this is what they've got for buying power. $7.2 million of buying power sitting in the pool here. And that's because 62% of all ETH that gets sent to the buy and burn pool, this will buy Titanic X on the market from the wrap Titanic pool and forever burn it out of existence. So they got basically building up a buy treasury and burning, and it's now up at 7.2 million. I don't believe this has been used at all yet. So pretty crazy. There will be a user reward as well, which is currently sitting at a whopping $23.8 thousand. So that's sitting in there too. So I'm not sure when this gets the mechanisms. Current cap per swap on ETH. So yeah, it's I think they've used 80 ETH so far. I'm not sure. The buy and burn cap will move up over time to random intervals and random amounts. So it seems like they've got this sort of a step up mechanism from the looks of it there, without having further looked at this at all. So that's kind of play there. I'm just talking about this because people have been talking about it and it may have an influence there. But yeah, pretty amazing. Distribute to payout and buy and burn. Use your reward. So there we go. There's a little fee for that, $2. All right. So that is kind of cool. There's more stuff there. Burn pool, stats, etc. So sort of got a quick little burn pool there. And I'm not sure when it activates, but you can see that if you got the price going up potentially, this buy and burn could do some stuff. And I don't believe it's been used so far. So yeah, this thing could do some stuff. We'll be watching it. New tokenomics there from Jake Sharp. They've got a calculator by Titan, all sorts of stuff, portfolios. There's lots of cool things on here. So I'll post the link to this if you want to check it out. And once again, do your own due diligence, not financial advice, all that good stuff, and you can check it out if you like. I'll also post the link to the token in case you want to check that out too. Not financial advice though, not advocating, of course, but there it is if you want to find out more. Jake Sharp is the influencer that set this up, which I think he's a big UK influencer in the space. So you can check that out in due course. There we go. All right. We aim to please. All right. That was kind of outside of Pulsechain to some degree, but may have had some impact, like I say. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's get into the Hex daily stats because we're up to an hour and 12 minutes. You guys know typically I like to do an hour and 15 max. Hex.com, folks. Check it out. The ultimate CD miner, certificate deposit miner on the Pulsechain on Ethereum. Pretty cool. And let's not forget, it is also on ETH Power and ETH Fair. We don't want to be completely missing them out. You can buy Hex, burn your Hex for T shares, which is stands for trillions of shares, and start mining more Hex, which is pretty cool. And we've got the Hex daily stats. So day 1427 on Ethereum. These are the results. 29th of October. We got the price there at 81/100th of a penny. We're up 3% on the day. The payout per T share. This is the main number. This is what you care about when you get T shares. You get 6.686 Hex per T share. So the more T shares, the more Hex you get. No change in the share rate. The share rate is at 30,109. Let's quickly pull up the share rate there because this is going to be jumping big time in a little while. So on the 22nd of November. And so you want to get your T shares earlier because earlier pays better getting those T shares. Otherwise, you'll need more Hex. And it's going to be dramatically higher coming up here. So let's get to the share rate on Hexy. This is Crispy Man. He does a great job here. You might see him on Matty Allen's analytics show, and you can see the share rate here. So let's go to that. It's full screen that. At the moment, we've got the share rate around 30. At the moment, 30,000. So you need 30,000 Hex for one T share. Obviously, you can get that for a third of the price by longer pays better, or you can even further by bigger pays better as well. Those are the three things. So early pays better when the share rate goes up. But on the 22nd? Was it 22nd? Yeah, 22nd. We're expecting the share rate to jump to on the 23rd to from 30,600 to 32,000. So that's a 1,400 Hex per T share jump. Look at that thing. You can see it in the chart. Stands out. So you want to get your T shares in before here because it's going to jump mightily big by the time we get up to the 22nd, 23rd of November. Remember that. So you want to get T-shares if you're going to do that. And then, of course, by the end of the year, we're expecting a share rate of 32,000. But that big move in November is the big move projected here. There's a big one, obviously, a couple of big ones during 2024. And then, of course, at the back end of 25, based on this data too. So it is going to get pretty serious. By the end of 2024, we're expecting a share rate of 39,600. So that's going to be quite big there. By the end of 25, we're expecting a share rate of 48,000. So we're at 30,000 at the moment. So the share rate's going up. You want to get your Hex earlier pays better, particularly before the 22nd there. So you can't say you haven't been warned, right? If you're watching now, because there we go. All right. So that is the number there. Let's have a look at the average mine length. 7.05 years is the average mine length on Ethereum, on Ethereum, sorry. And the APY is 39% for existing TCM miners. Very important to remember that. Let's have a look at the ownership pool. Hex is really easy to understand. We have a reward pool with the Hex in it, and we have an ownership pool with T-shares in it. And the more T-shares you have, the more of the Hex you get. That's pretty much that every day, pretty much. When you end your stake or mining T-share at the end, it goes through every day with the S-load function and loops through and calculates your return based on those pools there. So that's kind of cool. So T-shares up 104. We've got 9,763,000 T-shares in the ownership pool on the Ethereum side. Let's have a look at the locked percentage of coins. 9.36% of all Hex is locked on the Ethereum side. Pretty modest penalties today, 800,000. We've had some spectacular penalties in the last 10 days. Look at this, 58 million, 53 it says here as well. I'm not sure about this APR here. This seems wrong because we only got 67 in there. So not sure what's going on there with the number there. Actually, this number here seems wrong. Not sure what's going on there with the APR. Oh, sorry. No, I'm looking at the wrong one there. Not the APR. All right, so ignore me. That was us getting confused with the lock percentage of coins. Let's go to the growth numbers. We're at 45 there on current holders and up 1 on the miner numbers there. We're sitting 119,865 miners on the Ethereum chain. Now, obviously, you can also mine on Pulsechain, and of course, there are different prices and different staking metrics. So, day 170 at 29th of October. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, 29th of October. We've got the price there at 1.228 cents. We've got the payout per T-share pretty good today, 7.098, which is really, really nice. Share rate up a little bit there, 30,163. Average mining length is shorter on the Pulsechain and Ethereum. We're at 6.86 years. The payout, though, is higher today for existing T-share miners at 40.3%. We've got the T-shares are down slightly. We've got 9,837,000 T-shares. I think there's about 50,000 more T-shares on Pulsechain, just as a quick take. Looking at the lock percentage of coins, 9.7% of Hex is locked on the Pulsechain. A big day for penalties. Look at these penalties the last 8 days. Look at this, millions of Hex penalties there. And we've got 9.9 million, almost 10 million today, 69 million in the reward pool. As I say, we've got ownership pool with T-shares, a reward pool with Hex in it. And of course, it's pretty cool. So T-shares, this ownership pool is going down and the reward pool is getting bigger generally. So it's kind of cool. Let's go over to here. We've got down 26 liquid holders on Pulsechain, down 42 miners on the old Pulsechain side. We're sitting 124,608 miners, which is about 5,000 less than on the Ethereum side. Well, more, I should say, on the Ethereum side. So kind of cool. All right, that is the numbers. We're going to be starting day 1428 and day 171 on the Pulsechain. Hex.com, folks. Check it out. Get your miner today. And way to go. You can buy, obviously, Hex on Ethereum or Pulsechain. And, of course, you can buy your Hex soon. I guess you can buy your Hex on the 9-inch Hex there. Haven't actually looked at the pool. But yeah, that's coming up. They're going to have more details about that in the launch there. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's leave it on the Pulsechain chart here. We're going to go to the hourly and hide all the charts there. Let's auto log that. Bam. There we are on a Pulsechain at quadrant 054. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. It was fun to talk about. All I can say. Randy is a boss, is Crypto Truth. Who else has jumped in here? Thank you, Hex Token, says Sandy Beach. You're most welcome. Hey, we've got about 70 people watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you're new to Hex Token channel, subscribe, hit the bell for future videos. We're covering every day virtually with occasional day off. If you want to join Superman Crypto, subscribe, like, and hit the bell as well. If you want to join either YouTube channel, Superman of Crypto, or Hex Token channel, hit the join button, become a member. There's different memberships to support the channel as we cover Pulsechain and Hex and other crypto topics every day. And finally, if you want to get into the best community on Discord, we led the way on Discord. And if you want a Hex Pulsechain Discord community, get in there. The link's in the video description. It's about 16 cents a day to join now. It's a private Discord, and there's about 1,200 people. But we've got all the information, all the early intel, and most importantly, the people. We've got the best people in there. Get in there as well. Very, very cool. All right, let's wrap up here. Let's play out some music. I think that's a good way to wrap up. Let's play up the Richard Hart rap. Let's do that. Take care. Peace out. Bye for now. Take care.
My $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.